They'll blanket you in Wi-Fi and profit off the radiation. Congregation collecting the people for that Satan. I keeps it blazing, cause I can read between the lines. I ain't blind, we unwind what they're really saying. Genetically modify what you're tasting. Don't need that cottage promise, so now you live up in your mom's basement. Redesign time so your mind is always wasted. Program to crave the basics. Keep the beta in stasis. Pay the state, kid. You're in debt for being born. Messengers are mourn, just the price for being warned. Don't be alarmed, disconnect from their machinations. Stop subscribing to the folly of own nations. Bone breaking ain't the answer, cause they seek the ownership of souls. Spread the seeds and watch them grow. Break the chains of control. Break the chains of control.
So we eternal balance of all that is good, true, and beautiful. Friends, it is time to do a new moon in Aries meditation. If you expected me to say a new moon in Taurus meditation, then you are using a different system, which is totally normal, acceptable, and fine. But I am using true sidereal because I love it. Because as soon as I was introduced to it, I felt intrinsically that this was the best way. At least for me, it makes the most sense to me. It is based on what is actually happening right now when we look at the sky. And I don't know what else would be better than that. So I don't understand any other system anymore. It's weird how uncannily you can find correlations like with reality with both of them. You know, they both have such powerful truth in them, archetypally and in so many ways. But it's just that, again, it just makes sense to me. Like, why wouldn't we use what we can see right now and what's going on right now when we look up in the sky? So that's what I am rolling with, and that makes it a new moon in Aries, not Taurus. So if you want to do this meditation with Taurus as your guide, do it. It's very similar kind of energy as far as this meditation is going to deal with anyway. So like, do whatever works for you. As always, do whatever works for you. And this meditation specifically is going to focus on us using whatever fuels we can to burn the forge of the fire in which we're going to create what we would like to create in the world and in our life. So we're going to transform and transmute energies in order to burn that fire, and we're going to produce that which we would like to produce. So be thinking, if you're already tuned in, of what you would like to create and what you would like to use your own internal energy to do. Aries is just there. Aries has our back. But the work is being done by you. You're using those energies and aligning with them so that you can create what you want to create. So you're the power here. You're the true power. And you know it. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Interesting. And before we get started, as always, I do like to just share some things while we're waiting for people to hop in, because I know there's people who want to come to this meditation. And if you're listening to this meditation later, you are more than welcome to go along with us. You do not have to be doing it at the same time. It is very powerful to do it at the same time, and it is very powerful to do it later, because our intention, our energies, they know no bounds of time or space. But what's up? Still standing in the chat, loving the light, and Gordon Hamill. Nice to see you guys here, as well as some other people that haven't said hello, which is also okay. And I always just like to remind people, for those who don't know, that I do have a site, and there is a lot on the site. There are articles, there are poems, there are all sorts of dives into various different musings and whatnot. I have recently released a new book called All Endings Are Beginnings. It is a channeled set of various different snippets. As one reader said, these snippets of wisdom are like a modern Khalil Gibran put into concise and thought-provoking prose, which is pretty much the highest praise that I could ever be given. But they're all channeled. They're all actually at the end of every episode of Rogue Ways. Some people know, they like wait for that moment at the end, because that is the moment that this stuff comes out. It doesn't even come from me. It's just there. And so I collected most of them and put them in this short piece. The cool thing about this is you can flip to any page on any day and get your little God shot. You can flip to any page on any day and get your little oracle answer to the question that's in your mind. You can use this in so many ways, and it's just a cool, awesome, quick pick-me-up book to have around. So that is the new book. There are, of course, other books. You can buy most of them from my site and all of them from Amazon. I do have Earth, A Trough in Time and Sine Curve of Aeons, which are the sequels in a trilogy. The third one is currently in works. I have Gypsy on the Res, which is about my time on a Native American reservation as a teacher, and Mutable Reality is my pretty old now book of poetry. All of them are worthwhile. Check them out. I do tarot readings, I do spiritual guidance and ceremony for people, and I do create all kinds of orgone pieces, pendants, and art. I create crystal pieces and art. I teach classes, and all of it's here in the shop waiting for you. So if you're into that kind of thing, that's what's available on the site. As always, I want to invite people to rogue.locals.com. It is the best community online. It is our replacement basically for shitty ass Facebook, who is full of censors and just straight up bullshit. You get all kinds of access to things that you don't get anywhere else. You get exclusive content, you get it earlier than others, but you also just get an awesome community. And genuinely, that's the best part of this, is the people who are in this community. They know it. They're the best. These are the free-thinking people, and we like to share all kinds of stuff here. So come join the community. And of course, if you haven't yet found me on Rockfin, more and more it's the place to be. Even tonight's episode that I'm doing is mostly going to be on Rockfin. I'm going to cut the YouTube feed at some point because YouTube will delete my channel otherwise, and I don't want to deal with that bullshit. So I want to be able to still be here on YouTube for things like this and for whatever other, outlets I can get out there, but Rockfin doesn't censor. Rockfin is awesome, and so I can talk about anything on Rockfin. I have a whole bunch of content here, some of it premium for Rockfin supporters, and if you do become a supporter, you get access to everybody else's content as well who's on Rockfin, and there are all kinds of people on Rockfin, more and more people all the time. So one low price gets you all of that. And anything that's premium here on Rockfin will also always be in locals. So, if you don't want to do both, you can pick your poison, but they are both available to you. So nice to see Common Sense Cult in the house. Courtney is here with us. Good to see all of you. And let's get started. I like to have like just this image. Where should I be? For us. You don't have to look at this, but if you want to, do. It's up to you. Why? Sorry, I always forget that I want to have it like that. And, like always, I like to point out that you can tune me in or out. This is your meditation for you. So if you feel best, being guided and kind of going along with the meditation as I'm leading it, then do it. If you breathe a certain way and that works for you, do it. If you like your eyes open or closed, do it. It does not matter. It's your meditation. This is for you to get centered. It's for you to set your intentions. So you do what works for you. There is no wrong way to do it, and seriously try as much as possible to just let yourself be whatever you are and wherever you are, wherever you're at, just do it. Just be it. Just let yourself go. So I also always... I'm in a protected space. If you're joining me here, you're in a protected space. Spiritually, I have boundaries set. The only thing that can come into this space is what's good, true, and beautiful. So you also have your own spiritual protection around you. You just feel very safe in that place. And you know that only your energy is coming in and out of your energy sphere. Only your energy. So you're good. You can be connected to the people here by being empowered by them. We synergize with each other, sort of, but we're not like meshing our energies together. We're not giving our energy away, and we're not inviting anything into our energy sphere. We're just working with our own psyche, our own soul energy, and our own power. And we're inviting this Aries, wavelength that's going on. We're inviting that to sympathize with us, and to again, boost our energy by kind of reflecting that back at one another. But again, it's not like you're inviting Aries into you even, you know what I mean? So feel safe, feel protected, and know that you are always sovereign in your energetic sphere, and you always make the boundaries and the rules. So you're good, you're safe. I love this image. I don't know. It's just really so simple, but it's really powerful, and it fits so perfectly with the meditation that I was guided to give you all today and to share with you all today. So I'll say one more what's up to John Coleman in the chat, to Weaving Spiders in the chat, to Awesome Beach in the chat. And just in case I forget to mention it tonight, there's a really important show that I am doing, again, somewhat on YouTube, but mostly on Rockfin. Even if you start on YouTube, you can hop over to Rockfin when I cut the YouTube feed. But there's some pretty alarming things that you should be aware of if you aren't already, that have to do with the experimental medication that many people are taking and that they're trying to get everyone to take. And some aspects that seem as though the control structure is about to really clamp. It's pretty messed up. Anyways, I invite you to come tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain and join us to explore some of these patterns that are emerging. So, cool. Yeah, so let's all just start wherever you are at. Maybe you're like laying down, that's cool. Maybe you're sitting. Maybe you're slumped over, whatever works for you. I like to sit with my spine free of anything so that it has a clear channel. That feels good to me. I like my feet on the floor. That feels good to me. Sometimes I have my hands together and sometimes I have them separate. Sometimes I'm touching my thumb to certain fingers. I don't read too much into it, and you can or cannot do whatever you like. And so I just get comfortable and I just start breathing. And sometimes it's like the first deep breaths we've had all day. And by deep, I just had this come to my attention recently. Deep doesn't mean that you're straining, ever. You do not have to strain. In fact, you don't want to strain. You want to let your body feel good. So deep, to me, just means expanding my belly. It just means my lungs are filling all the way to the bottom, and I know that because they're pushing my belly out. I'm not trying to make my belly expand. I'm not trying to push my lungs to fill up more. I'm just breathing into my lungs, as deeply as I can without straining. So don't feel like it's some sort of a competition that you have to force it. Just let it fill up and go out. I mostly breathe in through my nostrils and breathe out through my nostrils, but sometimes at the beginning when I breathe in deeply, I like to blow out, like I'm pushing it out. And when I'm doing that, I'm breathing in light through my nostrils, chi, prana, orgone energy, just whatever the universe is made of that's loving and light filled. I breathe that in, I fill up, and then I like to push out a few times just to get anything that needs to go. Just release it. Just let it go. Then I keep breathing in deeply, and with every breath, I just know that light is coming in to fill me. And that when I breathe out, I'm just breathing out anything that needs to be released. I don't have to know what it is. I just have to know it doesn't belong to me, and it never did, and it's gonna go. Breathe in. And then I breathe out. And every time I breathe in, I notice more and more light is coming in. And it likes to fill up my belly first. And then every breath, it just fills up more and more. It stretches down into my legs, stretches out into my arms, stretches out into my head. And I just keep releasing anything that doesn't belong to me. And breathe in the light, and it fills my whole body, head to toe. And I breathe out anything that doesn't belong to me. And now I'm going to notice when I breathe in that it goes into my heart. My heart is lighting on fire, basically. And I breathe out anything that doesn't belong to me. I breathe into that fire. It's actually swirling in my heart, like a toroidal energy field. It's just burning and swirling every breath in. And the breath out actually stokes the fire too. It doesn't dim it. The light doesn't go away. Just like a fire would, air moving past it brightens it, whether it's in or moving out. Your fire might be red and orange and yellowy fire. It might be green and blue and purple. It might be rainbow and white and crystal. It's any fire you have, that's your fire. but you know it burns so hot no matter what color it is. It's blazing in there. Every breath is making it stronger and stronger. And that fire, you want it to burn even hotter, and you have all of this energy tucked away in different areas of your body. Different areas, and maybe it came out twisted a little bit sometimes. So you're going to go in and you're going to find places where you stored some anger. You're going to find that anger. Maybe it's black, maybe it's brown, maybe it's gray, maybe it's a little package, maybe it's like a little stone. Maybe it's just a chunk of something. You're going to pick that anger up and you're going to chuck it into your heart fire. And watch as that flame goes even bigger. You're going to breathe into that release that's burning away that anger. And breathe out. And you're feeling pretty good about finding that anger. Maybe you find a little bit more. It looks like there's some rage somewhere. Really deep anger, and you find that. Maybe it's maybe it's like a boulder. But you've got allies here. You're super strong. You can pick that up. You grab it. It's pretty heavy. But you bring it over to that blazing fire and you throw it in, and wow. That's really bright. It's burning it away. Look at it, how it transforms back into something really pure and true. It's burning hotter than ever. And you're going to go and find there's something else over there, tucked away somewhere in your body. It looks like it's confusion. Maybe disassociation or detachment. Or times when you just wanted to ignore something and push it away. It's just sitting there waiting for you. You're going to grab it. Maybe it's something that's all folded up intricately like a puzzle. Doesn't matter. You just take it, throw it into that fire, and watch the fire burn even hotter. You're building such a bright fire here. This fire is going to burn as hot as any forge ever could. Right in the center in your heart there. And you watch it transform back into something pure and balanced and feeding that fire. And you're looking around and you see there's more fuel sitting around your body. You see one piece over there and it looks like fear. Maybe it's got legs and pinchers and wings. Maybe it's half rotten. You see that fear sitting there. You have gloves. You have allies. You don't have to worry. It's not going to taint you. You're just going to pick it up, chuck it into the fire. Super bright flames. Now you're burning so hot. That fire is pure and clean and true and so well fed. You can actually feel it in your heart. So beautiful and hot. And you're going to find one last piece. You see it over there, and it's grief, or it's sadness, it's loss. It was tucked away back there behind that thing. And you see it, and it's soft and hidden. You grab it, and you love it. And you know that you're going to use it for fuel because it's a perfect fuel and it needs to transform and release. And you love that about it. And you throw it into the fire. Thank you. You can say, thank you for being my fuel. Thank you for transforming back into balance and feeding that fire. The fire is raging now. This beautiful, balanced, pure, bright, just so hot. This is the hottest forge. And so you know you're going to use it. You're going to pick up this piece in front of you now, and it's all the infinite potential that you have. It's just this chunk of unshaped, rough metal. You're going to look at it, you're going to hold it, and you're going to tell it what you want it to become. You're going to tell it what it is going to become. Maybe you have a goal for your soul. It's going to become ever clearer, more pure, more bright, more beautiful, more connected, more flowing in the flow state of love. Maybe you have a goal for your mental body. Maybe you want your mind to be more clear. Maybe you want to study more deeply various types of knowledge. Maybe you want to understand more about yourself or the world or a certain discipline. Maybe you have emotional creations that you want to create out of this metal. Maybe you want to heal something. Maybe you know you have this further imbalance, this pattern, this trauma, and you're going to shape it into the beautiful emotional state that you know is inside of you, waiting to come out. Maybe you have a physical goal. Maybe you want to become stronger. Maybe you want to become more healthy, have more nutrients, take more walks. Whatever. Maybe you have a career goal. Maybe you want to switch careers. Maybe you want to find more access to various different things to make money in different ways. Maybe you want to create something. Maybe you want to write a book, create a podcast, write some music. Maybe you have relationship goals. All of it goes into this piece of metal. You're just holding there. You tell it. You tell it what you're going to do, what you're going to feel, how it's going to look, how you're going to love it, what you might say when you're creating in that space where this becomes real, which it's going to do, how it looks, all of it. You put all of that into this piece of metal, and that burning, blazing forge of your heart is still just as bright and hot as it was when you found that piece of metal. And you're going to hold it. It's going to extend on a pole so you can put it into the fire and watch it transform in that forge. All of your love, all of your newly balanced energy, all in alignment with nature right now, and the cosmos and everything around us are all helping to feed that same fire. And wow, you just see it take shape into exactly what you intended. You're going to pull that out of the forge and see how perfect it has become. So beautiful. You can give thanks. Thank you to the fire. Thank you to the energies that fed the fire. Thank you to yourself for showing up. Thank you to your allies that helped you get those things and put them in the fire. And thank you to your infinite potential that has already taken the shape of exactly what you intend. Give all of that love to all of those forces. You can hold your creation and you can sit right in that flame with your creation. This is your will. It continues even after you come out of this place, and you are one with it. You breathe in to seal that oneness and that intention, and you breathe out and come back to your body, where you're sitting, where you're laying, where you're chilling. And we are back. I don't know about you guys, but every time I go real deep in all of this, and I get lost in my own meditation, and I don't even know if I do all the things that I was led to do, before we started. But I hope I did. And at the very least, I know I did exactly what we needed, because that's how that goes. Yes, and let's add this mantra that I was feeling before we started. And so you can say this too if you like it, if it vibes with you. I'm going to say it 3 times so people can really get into it if they like it. Everything I think, say, and do leads to the creation of my highest will and intention. Everything I think, say, and do leads to the creation of my highest will and intention. Everything I think, say, and do leads to the creation of my highest will and intention. That's that Aries fire. You're really bringing it to that forge. You're creating that fire. You're creating exactly what you intend for yourself. You're forging it, and you're making sure that it's going to happen through action. And all of that energy alignment that we just did, that's a huge piece of it. And the other piece is taking actual physical steps in the real world, right? Aries really wants, you to do that, to be brave enough to do that, to know that, you're kind of independently responsible for most of that. And, but to be, assertive enough to take those steps and make it happen. So we did the internal aspect, and now you're going to bring it into the 3 dimensions and help it, trickle into reality, by bringing it into the physical in that way. So don't ignore that part of it either. I know you weren't going to. I know you were ready for that. So we'll just make sure all these things align, right? Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. Can't go wrong with that. I love it. Courtney's spirit bear was helping her put things in the fire. Super awesome. If you saw an ally there that you didn't know before, go check that ally out. Have a little conversation with them. Go find some imagery or some symbolism and see how their energy feels to you. And maybe they were bringing you that energy for a reason. Maybe you need it right now. If you saw all the allies you always see, perfect, beautiful. Those are your allies for a reason. They got your back. So I will see you guys in 2.5 hours right here on Rogue Ways and on Rockfin. If you want to hop over there, you can just cut out the YouTube middleman and go to the source where we're not censored. It has been my honor and pleasure to do this Aries new moon meditation with you and really burn those fires and get that assertive will burning within us so that we can create the world exactly as we see fit. And until you do exactly that in every moment, everything you think, say, and do leads you to that intention and that reality. Travel well, aim for balance, and always look inside at first. Mwah.
Domestic terrorists.
They're not wearing masks.
Domestic terrorists. It's that basic, it's that simple.
And the question is, how are we going to really almost deprogram these people?
These extremists, authoritarians, fascists, bigots, racists, nativists, even libertarians.
They're not wearing masks.
Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories. Oversensitize them to what we have to do.
Potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
We've made it our mission to limit the spread of this disease and to limit the risks to lives and to our economy. We've been clear from the beginning that getting together in groups outside of your household that is not permitted is not allowed.
And we need to make it clear to them that the vaccine is the ticket back to pre-pandemic life. And the window to do that is really narrowing.
This nation, this idea called America, was and always will be a new world. Our new world.
Today we're taking steps to confront not just the gun crisis, but what is actually a public health crisis.
They're not wearing masks.
You know the old expression about snitches? Well, in this case, snitches get rewards. We want to thank you for turning folks in and making sure we are all safe.
Are you proposing taking away their guns, and how would this work? I am. I'ma have a lava lamp in my FEMA camp. I'ma have a lava lamp in my FEMA camp. I'ma have a lava lamp in my FEMA camp. I'ma have a lava lamp.